So Beast just came out in cinemas, and I've got to say, I'm actually quite impressed by this movie. So I love creature features, they are a guilty pleasure of mine. I love the 90s period where they were at their strongest, like Deep Blue Sea, Arachnophobia, which if you haven't seen it already, it's going to give you nightmares, I guarantee it. So that is something I've actually reviewed, so if you want to check it out, I'll link it at the end of this video. But yeah, there hasn't been a whole lot of creature features coming out of Hollywood lately. There was Crawl, the one about the crocodile, and the Meg, which I actually really enjoyed, and I'm so happy there's going to be a second one. But yeah, apart from that, there hasn't really been a lot of them, so I was really happy to hear about Beast. So, Beast stars Idris Elba, who is a recently widowed father of two teenage girls, and his wife grew up in Africa. So he decides to take his two girls to Africa so they can see where their mother grew up. And I love the beautiful African setting of the safari. It was really actually quite stunning. So Idris Elba did a great job acting in this movie. The two teenage girls were okay, but I found their characters to be really frustrating because they just kept making bad decision after bad decision. Like, they were in the car trying to avoid the lion from noticing them, so what do? Honk the horn repeatedly. And then there's this other scene where one of the sisters has been attacked and she's bleeding quite profusely, and what does her sister do? Does she ask, are you okay? Can I help you? No, she complains about the place that they're in being smelly. She needs to sort out her priorities. The first act was pretty slow. It was definitely a slow burn. But I like that. I don't like it when they get into it straight away. I like a bit of build up, a bit of tension. And when the movie does get going, it's pretty good. Like, there was definitely a few moments that caught me off guard, that had me on the edge of my seat. And I would say that the CGI was really impressive. I really wouldn't have known they weren't real lions. Well, obviously I would have, because I know they would never use real lions like this, but I wouldn't say you can really tell just by looking at the movie. Anyway, so the lion is basically on the rampage trying to kill everybody because poachers killed its pride, its family of lions. And it's sort of sad when you learn why it's doing what it's doing, because you can't just villainize it and say, oh, it's an evil lion, which obviously it's an animal, so it's not going to be just evil. But I feel like they sort of do that in shark movies, but in this movie they gave it like a sympathetic angle to why it's doing what it's doing. And yeah, it was like a Terminator of lions. Like, this thing was just, it never quit. It got burnt, it got stabbed, it got shot at, and it was beat up repeatedly by Idris Elba, and it just kept going and going. It was actually pretty impressive. I actually almost started rooting for this lion because it was just so determined. The movie ends with the lion getting killed by these other lions because it goes onto their territory. And yeah, it was kind of a bittersweet ending. So I think, honestly, if you don't go into this movie trying to overanalyze it, you're going to have a good time. It is what it is. It's Idris Elba, if I'm saying that correctly, versus a lion. You know, it's going to be what it is. Don't try to look for logic in this movie. But it was a refreshing, simple, standalone movie that didn't have a dozen prequels or sequels. You know, it's nice to just have a small, self-contained movie now and then. And it had no political agenda, thankfully, because, you know, I'm okay with political agendas in movies, but sometimes I just want to be entertained, and that's what this movie did. There was a bit of a message with the anti-poaching, but obviously that's a really good message to promote. So yeah, I would give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. I would have given it an 8, but it was a 2-hour long movie and it felt like it could have easily told the story in a much tighter hour and a half. But anyway, let me know what you thought down below. And let me know what your favorite creature feature movies are. I would really like to know what everybody's favorites are. And if you would like to see more from me, please consider subscribing or just liking my videos. Really helps my videos to grow. Thanks, guys.